You can arrest me, put me in jail, stick me in the electric chair, but no matter how unlawful you make it, I'm just never going to be down with Bim. This is the Apple on Stinker Madness.
Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. We got the Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness. I'm your host, Justin. As always, with me is Sam and Jackie. How are Sam and Jackie today? Starting with Jackie.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
This
Sam?
movie confirmed why I do not like apples.
Oh.
This is the reason?
Yep.
Sam, how's life treating you today?
It's all right.
All right, well, this week on the Stinker Madness podcast, Jackie has set up a third in a repeating series of hers of dancical music numbers that stink from the year 1980, pretty much. Because I think Xanadu and Can't Stop the Music, her previous two picks, were also both 1980 movies.
And this one was better than both of those.
Huh, oh, man. At
Well,
least it was shorter. At least it was shorter.
Better is a debatable term.
An hour and 27 minutes as opposed to
Yeah.
Can't Stop the Music's 2 hours and 3 minutes and Xanadu's 1 hour and 49 minutes or something like that. But this shit sucks.
Yes, it does.
Screw you both. This movie was awesome. It had all of the good qualities. Singing, dancing, sweet-ass costumes.
The costumes were terrible.
The costumes were awesome, dude. They were all kinds of shiny, and raccoons love shiny.
I'm not going to say yet that I'm saying that it sucks because I don't like it. I am still confused whether I like it or don't like it. I am saying it sucks because it is shit.
It is a bad job making a movie.
It is a bad
great.
job of writing a screenplay. It's
There's
a bad
no
job of
screenplay.
directing it. Hey, man, Menachem's got his own name. It says right after the credits, after the actors, screenplay.
So
Menachem Globe.
he wrote the page and a half of sentences
Pretty much.
that weren't the 4 pages of lyrics.
Exactly.
Fuck.
Well, there's not even 4 pages of lyrics because most of the songs only have like 1 or 2
Yeah.
sentences in them.
Yeah, no, there's 6 pages of written word involved with the making of this film.
I will say that it's a production.
Oh, it's something.
It laid on the production aspect like nobody's business.
There is lots of singing and dancing and many, many extras.
And some sweet, sparkly costumes.
Uh,
Everybody in the future in 1994 wears silver, gold, or some other electric color.
They accent with pastels, too.
Yes.
'Cause Miami Vice was big.
Before we go too far into the thematic elements of this film or the production elements of this film, because I am going to let you ramble about the costumes for a while. Is this the furthest from 1994? Well, I guess, is this the furthest off that any movie has ever been as far as what the future is?
Well, considering it's the furthest off of what people are, yes. When predicting the future, if you're unable to really accurately depict people and society and what they like, actions and events, then yeah, you're not going to get any closer with predicting the future if you can't even like recreate people and the places that they live.
So let me throw this one out there to blow your mind.
Okay.
Burning a question. They weren't in America because they said you're going to America to do a coast-to-coast tour.
I thought that she just was going to the West Coast.
The West Coast, yeah.
So, but my understanding was that they were not in America.
They were in America. Well, they're in Germany.
Yeah, they're filming in Germany.
It's quite obvious that they were in Germany, and they were in the airport most of the time.
Yeah, it's really, really far off from what 1994 was, especially for music, because it is glam. This is really, really, really glam music. Very sparkly, lots of neons and angles, you know, like when your collars are sharp and pointy, you know, because you're from the future.
Yeah.
And your sunglasses are sharp and pointy because you're from the future, and your guitars are sharp and pointy because you're from the future. Not like the grunge music craze that we all knew that rebelled against the 1980s excess.
Yeah. Well, here's a little fun fact in filmmaking, and when you see lower budget productions, how the future can become quite angular. in art direction, building things with straight lines is a lot easier, a lot less expensive, and a lot faster than trying to make round things. And so a lot of times when you look at a budget production that has like these very angular set pieces and very angular props, it's because they can make them a lot faster.
Because you just go one chop.
Yeah, it's just paint it, cut it, glue it together after you cut it and paint it, and it's great. But you start making round things, and that's adding a lot of bucks.
You got to steam the wood and shape
or
it.
use a lot of plastic and extrusions and things like that. I mean, you got
So
to work to make round shapes.
Is that the apple in this movie was probably the most expensive prop?
And it looked like shit.
It looked like shit.
I was confused at first because it shows up and
It was a bowling ball.
well, it was green, and then BB takes it and it's red.
It was half and half.
It was half and half.
Right, and then like later on in the song, you see that it's a half and half apple, and I was like, what the hell?
All right, so more prop talk. Give me some thoughts on the cars and motorcycles of this movie.
Those motorcycles are stupid.
Yeah, again, it's easier to make it square. Because one of the problems also with rounding things, even if it's just bending it around, making it symmetrical
If you
takes extra time.
take away the gadgets that the motorcycles have in Megaforce, which motorcycles are cooler? Megaforce or the Apple's motorcycles?
Delta Force.
Delta Force's motorcycles, sure, of course, but we're not talking about those ones.
Well, I just feel like that should be mentioned.
Because these motorcycles are stupid looking.
These motorcycles, they're stupid, but they don't have quite the job to do, so I think they suck less.
Okay.
You know what other car really got my goat in this movie is the police vans that storm into the park.
Uh-huh.
Just have some bubbles.
They look like cow udders. Like that is a dog or some kind of animal that's got the nipples.
But they're on the top of the van.
I know, but it still struck me as a nipple udder type thing.
They're also they're some of the least intimidating police vehicles of all time. They're essentially rejected VW vans that, ooh, scary, it's the police.
Yeah, there comes the
Are they
police.
going to go camping? What are they?
in the Vanagons again.
Yeah, not intimidating.
With some pink stuff on there.
How about the production company's station wagon that bears an uncanny resemblance to a certain
I couldn't find
Simpsons
out
vehicle?
whether the Simpsons was referencing this when they did that.
The car looks very eerily similar to the Homer.
The Homer.
Yeah. Very, very similar. It's got the bubbles on the top.
It's got all of the stuff.
Just bullshit stuck to it all over the place. And the core of it is a station wagon.
Yeah.
Like not a modern day station wagon like a Crown Vic or the Chrysler Town and Country station wagon with the wood paneling on the sides.
The 500 wagon.
Living luxury
with a 2-foot tall luggage rack on the hood.
We've got all of the money. We're the most powerful entity in all of humankind, and we like to cruise around in a Chrysler TNC that's got some stuff glued to it.
Hey, that stuff glued to it was awesome. It was sparkly. They obviously went the extra mile with the gold sparkle spray paint. Screw you guys. I mean, those those were awesome. Totally awesome.
What happens if you take that? Like if you do what the vehicle's designed for, because it's got the domes on the top, so your luggage rack is gone.
Right.
So you do have to store your luggage on the hood.
Uh-huh.
And you get it all stacked up there nice, and you open the garage door and you can't see shit. And you're like, all right, kids, back in the house. Vacation's canceled. This car sucks.
You have to drive it in reverse the whole way.
You can't see shit because there's a spoiler back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You never see these cars backing up. So they are always going forward in this movie. Like, okay, good. This place has a roundabout. We'll be able to get the cars out.
And they always go about like 4 feet at 6 miles an hour.
Yeah, and then they cut the scene.
You know, like, okay, the car didn't fall apart again. Whoo! Dodge that little bullet one more time.
How about some of the music in this film? There's a lot of it. There's more musical numbers than I remember in most musicals. Even like Grease has significant less than this.
There's like 17 songs
There's
or something.
a lot of songs.
It was originally 17 musical numbers. I don't know what they ended up with. I didn't count. I meant to, but it was a bit of a marathon getting through this thing for me. I'll be honest. I struggle with the musicals, and I did have a good time I laughed a lot. I laughed a lot during this movie, but this is easily the worst musical that's ever been made.
I would consider it as far as from a musical standpoint.
Yeah.
Whoa boy.
The music is supposed to tell a story, and it doesn't.
They're not good songs.
You can't understand what they're saying half the time.
Yeah.
And then the songs themselves sort of don't follow. It's interesting, like, to break convention of the conventional music making and song formulation, but they just like throw hooks in the wrong places sometimes, and it's like, that doesn't work. That's just abrasive.
Yeah, and that Speed song.
Yeah,
God.
Speed. They just would throw the hook in wherever they felt like it.
Over and over and over and over again. And I'm with you as far as like not just the songs themselves, but the dance production around them had nothing to do with anything. Like, Xanadu is a pile of shit.
It's pile.
But it understands how to make a musical. They just failed miserably in doing so. Menachem Golan.
Yeah.
Globin, the other one.
Globin.
He may have never seen a musical before in his life, unless it was, oh, you know what it is? He's getting all that Bollywood shit at this time.
Don't know.
He's like, you know what? Those guys seem like they know how to do it.
I think that there's a point where where a production heads south on you so far that I could see those elements where you're just not giving up on stuff because everything has kind of gone wrong so many times. You don't really know how things are going to turn out anymore. And that, like, after they wrap, they start putting the footage together and he's like, oh shit, we had to make so many sacrifices. This just doesn't make any sense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like the kid at the end, that's supposed to be a baby and they just couldn't find a young enough kid. So he's just wandering around like a 6-year-old.
Yep.
Just bag it. He doesn't need to have a kid.
You don't need to have a kid. Jackie, how did you feel about the music?
I liked it. I thought it added to the ridiculousness of the movie.
Oh, it does.
Because you guys are absolutely right. It had like a hook line in it, and then they would say some shit around the hook line, and then they would go back to the hook line. And like the master song, he just kept saying, I'm a good master, I'm a good master, I'm a good master, I'm a good master.
Oh, don't forget, child of love, child of love, child of love, child of love. That was the entire song. I kid you not. There was no other lyrics in it.
But the one that I like the best,
mm-hmm.
and I challenge you two to think about this. I like the Speed song best.
Really?
I hated
Speed,
that song.
American Speed.
Would you listen to that song in your car driving around? Honestly, not for being funny and like ironic. Would you seriously drive around and just hear Speed?
That would get so annoying.
Speed over and over
No,
again.
I would never buy the soundtrack of this movie and listen
God,
to it.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Without the costumes, this movie, I mean, the music would fall flat.
Yeah,
for me.
I agree with you.
I need the flash of what's in the movie and what's in the scene to keep me entertained and with the music.
I wholeheartedly agree that every element failing at once is what makes this sort of spectacular.
Yeah, I need the costumes and the pizzazz and all of that weird shit that they put in there.
Pizzazz is maybe the subtitle of this film. The Apple. Pizzazz! You like
They
it!
should have really had a character named Pizzazz.
Well, let's talk about the characters for a little bit. That's a good segue. You've got the two main antagonists, or the protagonists of this film, Alfie and BB, who are apparently folk singers beforehand.
And let's stop right now. And in the way that this film was made, we have the main character Alfie and his prop BB.
Yeah.
This is not, in terms of sexual politics, this one isn't up the food chain very high.
Are they a couple before?
Yeah.
Do you think?
She says boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they've got a previously established relationship of lovers.
Yeah, so then she goes to the party and makes out with Ben guy.
Well, let's table that because there's a little sinister stuff happening there. It's not believable sinister stuff, but I think it's implied sinister stuff. But so Alfie is a little bit more reluctant for stardom. They both are musicians and both seeking careers in music, but I think it's clear that she wants to be a star.
She just wants out of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
And he just wants to make records.
He wants to not compromise art.
Yeah. She's
ready to live the rock and roll lifestyle.
She's MTV and he's Casey Kasem.
No, I don't think he's Casey Kasem. He's like Cat Stevens.
Yeah, or Cat Stevens. Like he has no interest in being. He just wants to make good music for the people.
Yeah,
the people will like and enjoy.
She's Cher and he's Sonny Bono.
Throw confetti at me.
Like after, because Sonny Bono, and he didn't compromise the art.
Didn't he?
He just covered other people's tunes and then became the mayor of fucking Palm Springs.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
No, it's not Sonny Bono.
No. Cher's a good analogy.
Yeah, but he's Cher and Cat Stevens, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, God rest your soul, Sonny. heck of a guy. But...
Heck of a guy. Horseshit trip to Palm Springs.
And then you've got Boogaloo, the record producer, the chief of music, I guess.
The president of Earth?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, we know that he's an analogy for the devil.
He is the devil.
He's the devil.
Yeah.
With hip terminology.
Yeah,
but,
with only one horn, because the other one got chipped off in a fatal accident.
Fatal?
That's what I think.
That didn't kill him.
Oh.
So he wants
fatal.
He wants to corrupt BB.
Everybody.
Well, yeah, okay.
He wants to control everybody.
But in the hour and a half that we have to deal with, it's mostly him corrupting BB.
Yeah, it's like these two are the only two left on Earth that he hasn't figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Other than, I guess, the people that we find later, but...
Then you've got Pandy and Dandy, the lead singers, like the most successful music duo in
if you
world.
Made BIM, wouldn't you be as successful with BIM?
Is that the name of their band or just
the
the song?
Is the album? Is it BIM by BIM from the album BIM?
Yeah.
I thought BIM was like the overall corporation type of thing because...
No, their corporation is Boogaloo Records.
Right, but then they start doing the BIM stickers and they start...
Yeah.
Marketing and advertising, and then when they get BB in there, BB becomes part of the BIM series. So it's like this little BIM family of singers, and they're all just this group of
But they're
singers.
still just doing the song BIM.
Yeah, and BB's still just doing speed.
So it's...
No, but they do make a triple album together. So they did have one concert appearance with Mandy and Pandy and Dandy.
BB.
And BB. And they have one record that they do together.
So it's like they're like the Rat Pack under Reprise Records. They're a thematic group, but they're part of a record company that is called something else.
I was thinking more like P. Diddy and his little rap family.
Yeah, but see, that was the name of his records.
What about like
Bell
Biv DeVoe and... Where it wasn't TLC on with Bell Biv DeVoe.
No, that was Bill Biv DeVoe, Boyz II Men,
ABC,
BVD.
BVD. Well, that's Boys. But
Yeah,
wasn't TLC originally on that same
No, I don't
Motown
think
contract?
so.
Okay, well, I don't know
they're
anything.
on the burn your house down to the motherfucking ground, Andre Rison.
Take that, Andre Rison. God rest her soul.
That's not what Andre Rison said, but whatever. Are we missing anybody as far as characters? Not
well,
really.
the serpent...
Snake. Shake instead of Snake.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the black guy.
Yeah.
I
With
didn't
the
catch that
diamonds
his name
on
was
his teeth.
Shake
Yeah, his name was Shake.
instead of Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you really don't put that together that he's supposed to be the serpent until the very end when he's
dressed
standing,
up as a snake.
Yeah, he's standing there behind the devil dressed up as a snake, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense.
And I couldn't decide. Towards the end of the movie, I was leaning towards him actually being on acid. I couldn't tell if he was doing a really good job pretending he was on acid or if he was really on LSD during filming.
You're now convinced that
he was doing some things with his fingers and kind of looking off to the side like he was lost on set in the last scene in the park that I was like, that man looks like he's on LSD. He's either the greatest actor of our time or he's just fucking frying out of his gourd right now.
He struck me as a character or as a person that was high as a fucking kite this entire movie.
Yeah, I think he may have been on something.
Just his mannerisms and how loosey-goosey everything was about the way that he moved around the screen. Just, people are not that relaxed normally.
Well, I didn't like him.
No.
I did not like him being on screen. I didn't want him in front of me. And so I'm going to go with one hell of a good actor because now that I realize he's the Snake, bravo, sir. I shouldn't like you. I shouldn't want to have anything to do with you. You are a bad guy.
Bad guy.
Yeah, so I applaud whoever played that man. I could tell you, I'm on the screen.
Nobody has a picture.
I wonder how they got
I
that
could
shit
just
on his
look at
teeth
Shake.
to stay there.
Ray Shell
Shell
is his name. Good job, Ray Shell. So, let's get into this damn thing.
Okay.
Movie starts out with a rock concert that's kind of like the battle of the bands. Like, there's just...
But it's like election day for planet Earth.
Yeah, who's the best that's going to lead the BIM around? Like, become BIM?
Well, no, BIM is their entry.
Mm-hmm.
That's their song in the entry of Battle of the Song.
Right. So how's it like an election?
Well, if you win, then I guess you fucking are the president of Earth or something.
No, the president of the Earth is Boogaloo. I think you just get a chance to sign with... You know what it is? It's it's fucking American Idol is what it is.
Yeah,
There's
is.
fans voting at home and shit.
But it's like they had a deal where now BIM's going to be the exercise song that you got to do every day and just a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so I got a question.
Sure.
In the judging of this competition, they say we got 150 heartbeats.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Okay, so yeah, a heartbeat, I would consider that like a person and their heart is beating, right?
Per minute, normally, is how you would track that number.
Right. But the way that they say it in the movie, it's like, oh, now there's 151 hearts. It's like somebody's got a dead heart out there.
There's a very arbitrary system of measurement that's taking place here. And they're
I
calling it heartbeats.
I was kind of weirded out by this. Like I didn't really get it.
You're missing something even more important than that, because let's set the stage here. The producer has like a system for tracking all of the audience members, how they feel, their reactions to things. He uses it to judge, to basically say who's going to win this competition.
Yeah.
But as Jackie mentioned, there's a tracker for the heart rate, and that's one of their major deals. If you have a high heart rate, you're doing good. They also mentioned that they're tracking pulse rate.
Yeah, because they're not the heart. It wasn't heart rate. It was like.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah.
Pulse rate and heart rate.
They never say heart rate. They say heartbeats.
They say heartbeats.
Okay, so but they specifically say, we've got a 140 pulse rate and a 150 heartbeats.
Yeah, heartbeats.
It's the same fucking thing.
Well, oddly, I don't know that heartbeats is anything.
Not
That's
in this
the problem.
sparkly kingdom of awesomeness.
Yeah.
Is that the heartbeats seems to be like, again, the arbitrary system of measurement of what I don't know. Yeah, it's maybe it's like a passer rating where they've got like pulse
an equation that you
times 10 divided by number of wet panties, and then you put that in the parentheses. And if there's any nickels thrown at the stage, then you do demerit points after that.
I'm gonna say though that I thought that this started off strong.
Yeah,
because the Ben song. First off, I was confused about what the hell they were saying, so that took me about half the song.
My first note is, "Hey, hey, hey, dibs on the flame."
So I got BIM is the power, BIM's on the plane? I know what it says eventually, I think.
Yeah.
I thought it said BIM is the power.
BIM is the power. BIM is a power.
BIM is the thing. That's what I thought they were saying.
Hey, 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 BIM's on the way.
BIM's on the way.
Yeah.
This is Andy and Dandy's band's song.
Dandy and Pandy.
Dandy and Pandy.
Dandy and Pandy.
Andy and Mandy. And
BIM.
Sandy and Candy are dancing and singing.
What is BIM?
What?
That's the question I have written down. What the hell is BIM?
Who or what is BIM?
Is BIM anything?
Is BIM a reference to something in the Bible that we can't draw a connection to? Because, I mean, the spiritual references in this film are very dubious. Like, am I supposed to be making a connection here and I can't? I don't know what BIM is.
So what I was thinking is that if it would have been BOM, B-O-M, right? It would have been Mark of the Beast, backwards.
Yeah, okay.
But it's BIM. So that doesn't really correlate to anything that I can...
Men in Black backwards.
Yeah, there we go.
Big in Media? I don't know.
Boogaloo International Music?
Boys in Men?
Oh.
Wee.
Do you think it was a space keeper on like the lyrics? He just wrote BIM in and never was able to write something else.
Stephen King,
like Spadoinkle and Cannibal the Musical.
Maybe, I don't know, or it could really truly. I like Jackie's idea of a acronym.
Big in Media.
Yeah, Big in Media. I don't know what the fuck
Boogaloo
BIM is.
In music.
Boogaloo International Music is a good one.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Are
we fucking idiots? And she's right.
She could be right.
I could be, but I'm not real sure.
Either way,
you can be very unsure about everything.
This
in this
film,
movie.
if you're correct, this film does not spell that out very well.
No, it doesn't.
No, because I have it written down because I was still unsure about what it meant by the end of the film. So I wanted to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, that's my very first question. Who or what is BIM?
Yeah, and I'll also say it's the first mega failure is to tell the audience that this is the thing and have them go, BIM? Is the thing?
BIM
is BIM.
And if
you're telling me that right now.
If you're correct that it's Boogaloo International Music, and they're saying BIM is on the way, so BIM's not here yet? Well, then who the fuck are you guys?
They're upstairs rigging the game.
When does BIM show up?
BIM's everywhere, I guess.
BIM shows up when when Pandy and Dandy and BB, that's really hard to remember which Andy and Dandy that is, they sing the BIM is here song.
Is that what they're singing? BIM is here?
Yeah.
That wasn't part of the original BIM?
No,
Because it's confusing.
then they get Bimby,
BB
in there, and
Bimby.
then you know what?
Bimby's mother gets shot at the beginning.
Bim is here. She was wandering around underneath the bridge in the woods, and those people were hungry.
Hunters! Forever cursing children to believe that hunting is bad. All right, so either way, questions abound already. But so Dandy and Andy, Candy, Mandy do their song, and then Alfie and BB come on stage, and they start singing this folk love song. And the fans are kind of like teenage boys and teenage girls for the most part. It seems like they're younger. It's a younger crowd there.
It rapidly goes from "what is this" to some heavy petting.
Yeah, like what? Boo! You suck.
Wait a second.
You said what?
Well, my girlfriend likes it, so I'm gonna like it too.
Yeah, but
so I can get to second base.
The teenage boys are like. I think it's more than that. They kind of seem entranced by it. They're like, their heart rates are going up. Well, I guess.
Well, according to the lyric,
boner goes up, your heart rate goes up.
Yeah,
too,
that's true.
So.
That's why they had 158 heartbeats, because there was just hard-ons all over that place.
Yeah, when they calm down, their heart rate goes up, and they break the record. I saw that thing go up to 162.
162.
So, that
there was a meter
life-threatening.
There was a meter off screen that actually had a 2.7 average hard-on rating. They just couldn't put that in and keep the rated PG, I guess. Well, according to the lyrics of the song, what was overcoming the crowd was that love is the universal melody.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't hate the song.
I did.
A little hokey, but I didn't hate it near as much as fucking Speed.
BIM. I think BIM was the worst song.
BIM's pretty crappy. Hey, 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 BIM's on the way. Yeah, so the kids are like, oh, we really like this, and the producer's like, that's sentimental crap. They're just stealing nostalgia and that's shit, and so they don't know BIM is the shit. So he sabotages the whole thing, makes Snake put in a tape of icky sounds that plays over the loudspeakers. So the students or the teenagers start freaking out and going nuts again. Hey, you suck, man. We're hearing crackle coming over the speakers. Boo! Even though it clearly has nothing to do with the performance you're giving. Boo!
Yeah. Well, I don't know that they were booing necessarily what BB and what is the Scotsman's name again? Alfie.
Oh yeah, we should mention that Alfie
cannot ditch the accent.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's clearly Scottish.
I'm from Canada,
eh? No, you're not.
The Highlands of Canada.
Let's go play hockey. That's what we like to do.
Where's my poutine?
And haggis. I mean, not haggis. Definitely not haggis. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
So they're pissed off, and the whole thing gets rigged, and so BB runs off the stage in tears because she's never going to be a star, and Alfie's like, well, big deal, I thought we gave a good performance, we were good, but so there's an after party, the BIM after party. And there's BIM glasses and BIM drinks and BIM shirts and BIM ball and the BIM mark.
What do you think BIM the drink is made out of?
Probably just Kool-Aid.
And Everclear?
Kool-Aid and Everclear.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good.
No, it did not look good.
Unless
it burns when it gets dumped in the front of your pants. Because that happens later.
Yeah, but is the stuff that Dandy drinks later, is that a BIM drink?
Well, it's
that's her special drink.
Yeah, so is that the same stuff that they're serving at the BIM party?
I feel like
because
both.
It was green.
I think that there's a secret ingredient in both her champagne and his vegetable smoothie was GHB.
Yeah.
A little date rape drug.
I think so too. Well, it even goes further than that because she gets, as you mentioned, a giant thing of champagne.
Yeah.
And her BB and Dandy go up on top of the roof, and he's romancing her, and he gives her some fucking pills too. It's not just the GHB that's in her champagne. He's like, here, take these pills. I promise they won't hurt you.
Have some ketamine. If you don't die, you're going to get raped.
Yes. Well, you're probably going to get raped either way, but
you might die.
At least I'll have a good time
if
you're alive, and it's not necrophilia, but I'm still going to have sex with you in either situation, because I'm evil.
He's evil.
If I didn't make that clear enough. So she's getting date raped. not on screen, but the metaphor is quite there. And
Yeah.
I'm not, in 1980, was there even such a thing? Was like, could you roofie a lady and like
Yeah,
to
they were
smooch
called
her?
roofies in the 70s. so
Was
that's
it
what
kosher?
Well,
Like,
I mean,
it's
I don't
not
think
super
that-
kosher. Like, you wouldn't want to tell your mom about it, but
You know, to be honest, I feel like it was the late 80s when they really started cracking down on date rape. Like, the roofie thing was sort of not as heavily prosecuted.
yeah.
Before
I clearly
80s.
get that impression.
Yeah.
Like, here's some drugs. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you about the side effects that are going to make you totally not be able to stop me when I put it in your butt later, but
In the eyes of the law, the act of the woman taking the pills
Mhm,
is then consent.
yep, that's not right.
Not right. Way to go, 1970.
You fuck. So Alfie's downstairs, and everybody's kind of being dick to him, like, Alfie, you're from Canada. What's Canada like? Small town doofus. Bleh."
Well, he's not drinking alcohol. If he
Yeah.
would have just fucking drank, he would have just taken a drink and just held it in his hand and not drank any of it, then he would have been fine. Nobody would have been like, you're a fucking doofus.
I don't drink alcohol.
What
the
do
only
you,
Scotsman.
Can I eat
ever.
a man?
what do you drink? Sheep pee? I mean, come
You
on,
know, like-
dude.
I don't drink alcohol. He's got like 2 Budweisers in his hand. What's that? That's just beer.
So, there's a dance number.
Yay.
And
Before we get to the dance number, she's up there on the roof,
uh-huh.
and they all laugh because he's doing they turn on the lights or something.
Yeah.
How did they fucking see through the roof? This was really, no, there was just like, they couldn't figure out how to shoot it in any way to make sense, so they just did it anyway.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Yeah, so they're laughing at her getting smooched by
Him.
Andy.
And he's like, oh, stop it. But they shouldn't be able to see him, nor should they be able to teleport up there for the dance number. Which
Are they
do.
laughing at her or are they laughing at Alfie?
Or are they just laughing because they're all fucked
'Cause
up
they're
on drugs?
Fucked up on drugs?
I think that you were meant to think that they were laughing because she was getting taken advantage of upstairs.
Yeah, the date, what festive jest the date rape is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So they give a dance number, and Dandy's singing about how it's destiny, and she's meant for him, even though they just fucking met.
No, she was made for him.
Oh, she was
Yeah.
made for him.
He is
He's-
her master and her king.
She is no more than a pencil topper.
But he also
To his
says that
penis.
you're my queen and shit, which I think has a layer of like romance. Anytime you're like, lady, you're my queen, that's kind of
I think they
nice.
threw those couple of words in so that people wouldn't be like, what the hell is this?
So-
but the date rape is fine?
The date. Huh.
Well, your grandma doesn't know what that is.
My grandma's dead, so she doesn't know shit.
Oh,
Oh,
boo.
That gets booed. Okay, so
what a butthole.
so Alfie doesn't like it. He's not down with this dance number, and his lady's seduced, and she's also like, "Oh, you're so big and strong. These strong arms." Like Dandy is a
No,
dandy.
He's named Dandy
He's
for a reason.
He is a poof.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, he's not gonna start on the football team.
It's very.
Yeah,
I don't even know if he's gonna carry the water to him by himself.
This
without
guy
hurting
did
himself.
not. This guy did not have any kind of muscle structure. No sex appeal about this guy at all. It was just like, yeah, I'm willing to wear a sparkly speedo and jive on my junk.
Yeah, this guy would keep up this. He was in Rockula as well.
Yeah, he did it because he's like, I think my hair can carry me through this scene.
He does have, if it's not a wig, he does have some very
He's got some sweet hair.
Roger Daltrey-esque hair.
I was gonna say he's just like he's all around kind of a shitty Roger Daltrey.
Yeah.
He's got the gravel voice and the shitty hair, and he's not built as well, which is like I don't remember Roger Daltrey being built all that well, but you're definitely built less better than him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but this was before America became obsessed with muscles.
Oh,
Schwaz had already taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, Schwaz had like
Pumping Iron is like 1972.
Yeah, William Smith had
Ah.
been Mr. CIA, bust your ass.
Joe
Look at
Brown's
these guns.
punching people in the face in cinema films.
Jim Brown,
Jim Brown.
Joe Brown.
Joe Brown.
Well, I thought
Stallone's already been in
Yeah.
Rocky 4 or like 3 by this point.
Oh, well.
So I think
okay.
you're full of shit.
I think
lady.
I'm full of shit, and I think that this guy was a terrible pick. For, hey, let's get you to take your clothes off and wear a banana hammock.
As
Again,
long
with-
as there has been a place called California, America has been obsessed with muscles.
Yeah, the
He also had weird nipples. Just throwing it out there.
just as a symptom of the filmmaking, because they couldn't get things. They wanted singers on screen. He was one of the singers.
Yeah.
they compromised that through casting process, but it's like when you're watching this, there's just so many of these things they wanted to do that get half done. So like they leave him in it because he's one of the singers, and then later on they end up casting people for looks and then adding singers later, and it's like you end up with this hodgepodge of, you know, some of them are not actors and some of them are, and some of them are just people that were there because they were in the army high school in Germany.
Yeah. And I didn't think he was bad. I
No.
just was like, strong arms? Ugh.
I thought it was a mistake later on to have him just in a G-string.
Yeah.
He should have said something like, "You maybe give me a vest." I don't know.
I'm a little flabby upstairs, guys.
Well, I mean, he's in better shape than me, but you know, that's not the thing to make you look good.
I think you would win in a bench press competition.
Well, I could bench press that guy. I bet that guy's like 5'4", 126.
So the next day, they go to the record label to sign the contract, and Alfie's like, "I want an attorney. I don't want to fuck this up." He's correct. She's like, "Oh, I'm sure it's fine," but they go in and they're like made to wait and sit there forever. And there's a huge group of other zany characters inside of this airport that is supposed to be the offices of Boogaloo Records. And there's ballerinas, there's magicians, clowns, and they all get in a fucking dance number, sing off thing with Boogaloo coming downstairs and Shake coming downstairs. I think this song is about corruption in like power.
Yeah.
It's about taking advantage of people because they want to be famous so badly that they'll just do anything.
It stinks. I didn't like this one at all. Anytime Boogaloo sings, I'm pretty much out.
He's not a good singer.
No.
But he, you know, I guess he hits the notes. It's just that he's got a distinctive voice.
He looked like a creepy circus.
Ringleader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also, this is the first time they just sort of like go all in on breaking the fourth wall.
Mhm.
They sing this song to you.
Yes, indeed.
And I think that that's, again, it's like the first song, you've told the audience that BIM is the thing, and it's like, what the fuck is BIM? So you've lost your audience once there. Now you're directly speaking to the audience, and you're telling them nothing.
And most of the time, I can't tell what you're fucking singing.
What you're saying, yeah.
So upstairs, they get put in upstairs and in the main office, and it's like, hurry up and sign these contracts. I'm leaving tomorrow. We can't do it tomorrow, and you got 20 minutes. You got to get some clothes put on you from this fancy lady, and we can't sign next week because you're going to be on the west coast of the America. And so you got to either sign it now or it's no deal. And BB's like, fuck it, I'm signing it. I'm not even going to read this shit. Now he's like, no, I want to read it, and I want to have an attorney look over it, and I'm not signing shit, you son of a bitch.
There was 2 pages there. No matter how fine the print is, he could have looked it over pretty good
You got
in the
20
amount
minutes.
of time that in just the amount of time that he spent bitching about it,
Yeah.
he could have just kind of meandered over by one of those fake plants, perused it, and gone, I'm not signing it with this attached. Just crossed out some spots and then signed it. Said, okay, there you go.
Lesson of the film is never sign a document without reading it,
Yeah.
boys and girls.
Well, he doesn't. She
Public
does.
service announcement. Yeah, she's an idiot, though.
Yeah, but he has premonition.
He has, he's interrupted by an earthquake daydream premonition that's like, the world is shattering, I guess, is the metaphor if you sign this.
Yeah.
So don't. So he's like, I just saw an earthquake, and everybody's looking at him like he's a fucking idiot. And then all of a sudden, the lights go dark. He's like, it's dark in here. What are you talking about? It's the middle of the day. And then all of a sudden, this fucking weird shit happens where
Yeah.
it's another musical number that I guess it's essentially the metaphor of the film, this musical number.
Yeah.
It boils down to this one fucking scene, the title of the film, everything that's being implied in this thing the whole time boils down to this one bit where they're in a cave underground.
They're in hell.
They're in hell, but
I guess.
doesn't make sense because they've got the apple, the multicolored
I don't know.
apple. Everybody's there. Alfie's there. BB's there. There's tons of people there. They're all dressed in.
There's heavy leather teddy bears.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Pig face people.
But at first, though, when we see BB and Alfie, they're dressed like Adam and Eve.
They are.
They are.
And then the devil's like, well, that just won't do.
There's no flowers here.
Yeah.
So they are in hell.
They're in hell.
Why would they be in hell?
I don't know.
Because that's where they keep the apple.
That's not how that story goes.
It isn't.
You don't. Well, okay. Well, let's save the biblical metaphor. discussion till
Menahem
the
might
end.
not have the best fluent understanding of the subtle nuances of the New Testament.
Yeah. like the Garden of Eden. But anyways, so they're
That's
like,
the Old Testament, yeah.
bite the apple, bite it, taste it, apple, it's tasty and nummy. You want it in your tummy.
Well, that's pretty good.
Dude, you spend 10 minutes writing anything and you're going to write better shit than this movie.
Yeah.
It's the apple. It's the apple.
Crazy apple, spooky apple.
And then she's going for it. This drove me fucking nuts during this scene. She keeps going for it, right?
Mhm.
But then they keep passing it to somebody else. So she's reaching for it like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to eat this apple.
I want that fucking apple.
I'm good to go.
Can I just try it?
And then, like, at the very end, she's like holding it. She's like going to do it. And then they grab her and they start twirling her around.
Wait, I thought you wanted me to eat the apple.
Yeah. And then she's like, apple. And he's like, eat the apple.
Put it in your mouth. Just reach out and grab it.
And she's
I'm
like,
trying.
I'm trying to, but if you have to put me down and give me the fucking apple.
Well, she couldn't logically bite the apple because it was made of porcelain. That's why they had to do that. And then the biting of the apple was her signing the contract, because had she bitten that apple, it would have been a trip to the dentist.
So let's mention some more of the zany bit down here. You've got Dandy downstairs in the
with his downstairs barely covered
with
up.
his downstairs barely covered up, which is when we see how unripped this guy is and his G-string sequin thing.
You know, somebody really liked this actor and thought that he was the cat's ass. Because if you look at his G-string, it has more sparkles on it than is humanly possible to get on there as a normal costume.
Yeah, it was like 17 sequins, because that's how big the thing was.
Let's go with Sam's theory and say that that guy wasn't supposed to play that part, but they were just like, oh, put that singer in that part.
Well, they got him because he's a singer.
Yeah, but if they made that costume and then, do you think other people wore that costume before he did? Was that made and then like, here, put this on? Is that butt floss for an audition? Like, we need you to audition, put this butt floss on. Were other men's asses in that jumpsuit?
I don't know.
thing?
I'm going to choose not to think about that one.
There's a lot of keystring going on with that costume.
No!
Gross.
The string in the back seems to be well lubricated already. That is definitely someone else's poop that is now in my butt.
Icky.
Do you get like infections from that?
I would imagine.
Yeah. Other poop in your butt.
Or just like leaving the poop. Even if it's your poop. If you have
extra
poop in
butt
your butt,
poo.
like, there's a reason you wipe your ass.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a reason why some of us wipe our ass. So it's all in Alfie's mind, and he doesn't sign it, but BB does. So Alfie's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And so BB runs after him, but she's stopped by Andy and Dandy, Pandy and
Pandy
Dandy.
and Mandy.
Sandy.
Shandy.
Summer Shandy.
Sublamdy. Woblammy.
They're like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about him. You're part of the Bim family now.
He doesn't own you. He's not your master.
You're with us. And there you go. That leads right into the next musical number, which is that master shit. I'm the master of...
I'm a good master.
I am patient and kind and give them what they want because they're all greedy sons of bitches. You know it.
By TLC.
Yes.
Nice.
I was trying to spice up the musical a little bit.
Yeah, so I did not like this one. I think this one's the shittiest.
And then he just says the word master over and over and over and over again.
There was the song that was kind of clunky, too.
Yeah.
So now she's getting all dolled up for her membership into the BIM thing. She's getting her hair done during this. It's a musical montage, essentially, of her being groomed for this role of BIM superstar. And they give her, like, the very next fucking scene is her doing her own musical number because she's all fucking hard and shit. She's not folky in any way, man. She's speed.
Yeah, and that's where you first notice that they didn't do... It's like they were using just available costumes at the most, because she's very athletically built. She had very muscular legs. She had she's very trim and she has a good body, but they're putting her in stuff that you needed to put in a much smaller person. Like,
or more chesty person.
Yeah, more chesty,
curvy,
definitely.
Curvy person.
A curvy person, because she's stout. And, I mean... She doesn't look bad, but it's obvious that the clothes are just not cut for somebody.
They're sagging on her.
Yeah, she's far too athletic to wear what she's wearing.
She looks frumpy as shit.
And she shouldn't, because she's, all that muscle probably looks pretty good if you wrap it up nice.
Yeah. So, she's getting to be a big deal, and Alfie's like just wandering around town or hanging out in his apartment, I guess. I don't know, but...
He lives in the shittiest part of town.
With some lady?
Some Italian lady?
I don't know what she is.
I think she's his landlord.
He's sleeping on her couch.
Which
There's only one couch in there.
Yeah, that's the landlord. Is he boffing her?
Well, he's sleeping underneath her or next to her. There's not a lot of places to sleep in
They
there.
sleep together. Whether there's sex there or not, I don't know, but they sleep together.
He does a thing that makes me think there's a little going on
Well,
there.
we get introduced to her as she's walking down the street, and this cop stops her, and they're like, "Ma'am, I need to check you out." So he's like checking her face out. "I gotta write you a ticket." "What for, officer?" "You have no BIM mark. It's mandatory. You gotta have a BIM mark now." So BIM is taking over the world. Like there's laws around BIM now. You gotta.
Well, the police force has BIM shields and BIM badges.
And BIM guns and BIM handcuffs.
BIM
and,
shields.
Yeah. BIM Shields. Brooke Shields' little known sister.
That's right.
From the Red Lagoon, which was, about the other thing when you're a teenager. You don't want to talk about that. I don't know. I shouldn't have told that joke. It's a bad joke.
That's a really good joke. Fuck you, Sam. That's funny as shit. Red Lagoon. Mommy.
It's an educational film from 1974, starring BIM Shields.
I want to go swimming. Not today,
Not
dear.
today, dear.
Okay, anyway, so the landlady, she's like, "Oh, I love your new song, Alfie. It's so nice and so different than what we get nowadays, and it reminds me of the past." And she's getting all reminiscent, like looking off into the distance, and then all of a sudden fucking Alfie's like, "Hey, bringing you back to reality," and he gets 2 handfuls of landlady tits.
It's weird that I was just noticing. I was like, that lady's got really big boobs. And right as I'm thinking that, he just grabs them both full hands.
He
I was
moved
like, whoa.
like a ninja for those honkers.
Yeah.
Like he's not even he's across the room and he just clears it in one bound like, "Give me."
Do you think that was a little Scottish ad-libbing?
I'm pretty sure that was Scottish ad-libbing because the look on her face was like, holy shit.
I'm going to go with it.
The
He's
camera's on.
handsome. Yeah. So he serenades her and sings her the song, another musical montage of Where Has Love Gone. And I didn't hate this song. I thought this one was okay. It's not fun, but it just doesn't suck.
It was bad.
It didn't suck. It was as bad as fucking Master and Speed. So he goes and he also gets a BIM ticket. And the town now, a message comes over the radio of the world, I guess. The intercom system for the planet.
I guess.
It's the BIM hour. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's required by all citizens of BIM world that you take part in BIM hour. So says the BIM Health and Welfare Department
Of BIM.
Yep. Everybody exercise, even the fat guy on the trolley.
Stop fighting that fire and dance, boys. Dance.
Stop doing surgery.
And dance.
And dance. There's old people dancing, forced to dance.
Instead of eating their lunch.
Yeah.
Or their early bird special because it's 4 p.m.
There's
That's right.
nuns. The nuns dance.
That was stupid.
Everybody has to dance for an hour. And the only lyrics you get to sing during this hour are, "Hey, hey, hey, BIM's on the way." Over and over
BIM is the way.
and over. I think BIM is on the way.
And
I think now BIM is the way. I think she's right.
BIM is the way.
Fuck BIM.
How long do you think
BIM
it
police.
takes before they just start dropping like a dance-a-thon?
Dude,
Like at minute 43, the firemen are going down. And they're in the best shape of anybody.
doing this dance for an hour, I think that there's like 4% of people on the planet that could do that.
Yeah, I mean, they're kicking up high and they're dancing full torso twists. And
Yeah.
And there's no doctors to like help out because they're all fucking dead from dancing too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the fat guy in the subway,
He's not going to make it.
he's not going to make it. He was sitting in the bench trying to do his best he could with his arms. And I'm thinking, 1, he's going to hit the old lady next to him. And 2, he is going to die of a heart attack because there are no salami sandwiches anywhere within this guy's vicinity.
Yeah. There's no water either.
This could be one of the worst laws ever made. Like, what happened to that planet Earth? The Star Trek people come, the Romulans cruising by one day.
They see day 1 of BIM hour. And everybody dies in day 1 of BIM
I don't
hour.
care if they have warp power. Never come back to this place ever. So dumb.
Do you think Denise Austin could make it through BIM hour? With
Yes.
The power of potatoes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
totally,
She
man.
could do it. She's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything bad about her because
She just barrel through the window and exercises to death.
She will shove a potato right up your beep beep.
She's like Bim, that she's got her own police force. Her and Bim cops might team up and storm your castle at any point with or without a warrant.
If she took over the earth, there probably would be Bim Hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
So BB's now a big superstar. She's mega. And the fans are everywhere. And like she's like the fucking Beatles and shit. And Alfie sees her and he can't get to her. She's like, baby. And she's like, Alfie? And he can't get to her. They're separated. And then he gets his ass kicked by these mad
The Galmorian guards.
Yeah. It's Gamorrean, but
whatever.
You said Galmorian.
I did.
Is that like gargoyle?
No.
You suck.
Because they kind of look like gargoyle/pigs.
No, they're like the Gamorrean guards from Jabba's palace.
Yes. Actually, absolutely.
They have under teeth.
Yep.
Not canines, but the opposite of canines. I don't know.
Pig faces.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are called. Tusks? I don't know.
Well, they're not tusks because they're teeth, but I don't know. Maybe they are tusks.
I don't know
if
what
tusks
it
aren't
is.
teeth, then what the fuck are tusks?
It's, yeah.
Anyway, so he gets his ass kicked, and he's like doing the old number where you walk
Where
down
you
the
get
street,
kicked a lot.
and you're beat up, and you're bleeding, you're singing your sad song. Oh, world, it's passed me by so hard.
If there's an angel out there, cry for me.
Is this the first appearance of Joss Ackland?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
And BB's singing out the window to him, and it's totally American Tail
Which hasn't
somewhere
happened
out
yet.
there. Yeah,
Maybe they stole that from this. We should do.
probably not.
Probably, I could, somebody wrote a book about how American Tail stole all the mojo from this movie.
Alfie stumbles back to his apartment. Oh, my babe has been taken from me. Lady with the big boobs, can I just get some of those big boobs? I mean, I love my girl and all, but damn, those titties.
Just rest them on my head while I eat this soup.
So she nurses him back to help with the aforementioned soup, and he's getting like, he's feeling good, and he's gonna really go after BB now. So he goes to this party that I guess is at the record place. I don't know where this red light party thing is.
It's just downstairs in the same fucking building they've been in the whole time.
Yeah, the airport.
The airport.
Yeah,
This is the basement.
the
The
lounge.
convention center at the airport.
Yeah, it could be. He's like, I want BB released from her contract. You let her go. Well, did you even ask her if she wants to be? Well, no, I didn't take that part out, but let her go.
I'm just going to drink these vegetable drinks.
Yeah, and
Delicious
so
vegetable smoothies.
he drinks Pandy's drink.
Special drink.
Special drink, which I think is just absinthe because it's green and fucks him up. He starts seeing shit.
It's got a lot of GHB in it and everything
But
else.
that too, of course.
But it's got to be something because he was like, I'm going to drink scotch on the rocks,
Mhm.
which like, okay, you don't need to date rape. This guy's going to get there for you on his own. And she's like, no, not fast enough.
I need this now.
Yeah.
She's coming for you. She does her musical number, Pandy. Coming for you.
Hi.
Which is,
Shouldn't it just be called Coming On You?
or like,
Coming next to you, as it turns out.
there is no innuendo in this song. She at one point says, "Do me now."
Do me now.
Well, and I
Please
kind
do
of wondered
me.
if she even got any penis because he's
She
still got
missed.
he's still got his pants on. At the
Yeah.
end of the song, he just jumps out of bed, his pants are still on, his belt's still buckled.
Mhm.
There's
It's the problem with drugs.
but she's been
Can't
up there
stand-
hopping around.
She was having sex with the bedpost, had no idea.
Yeah.
She's like, was it as good for you? And she's like, you just had sex with my shoe, the bedpost, and that lamp.
She's
I've
seeing
been laying here staring at the roof.
seeing 10 of him as
Yeah.
well.
And none of them are actually him.
Yeah, always go for the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Top tip: there's your public service announcement, kids. If you're hopped up on the goofballs,
What if there's 2 rows?
oh, fuck.
fuck.
Then you're having a menage a trois.
With a boot and a lamp.
So he gets up after she's done. I think I don't think she's done. I think he gets up and he leaves, but she's still in there going.
She doesn't even know what she's doing.
So he finds BB in bed with Dandy, and she's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "BB," but it's kind of like weird floaty drug scene, like foggy and green.
Yeah.
So did that happen? Did she bone Dandy, or is that in his drug-induced coma?
I feel like she did because the next morning she's like, Alfie was here, Pandy is to beam BB. Jesus Christ, these names are hard to keep
They
track
really
of.
are.
And she's like, oh no, he's and she has this like shame look, like he must have seen me getting drug humped again.
Oh boy, boy, the walk of shame. So he gets out of there and he wakes up the next day on a park bench, and
which happens to the best of us.
Here's the point that Sam has been waiting for
Yes.
quite anxiously for the guy from Lethal Weapon 2 to show up, whose name is not important.
Joss Ackland.
Yeah.
Well, the first appearance of Joss Ackland, I call him Poop Nose Pappy.
Yep.
Because his nose is just disgustingly brown, and you wonder why. And you'll find out why later. But yeah, Joss Ackland shows up. And then there's some kids, and one of those children just falls down harmlessly and is quite hilarious.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Because if he fell down like and got hurt, you'd feel bad. But he just like eats it.
I laughed a little bit.
Well, you laugh hard because he just eats it for no reason.
This is 1980. It happened a long time ago, so it's funny now.
Yeah. That's a homeless man now.
Speaking of homeless man, he gets led to this hippie camp, and there's a bunch of, these are the lost children of the 60s.
Thanks, Poop Nose Pappy.
And he says it in a way that's supposed to mean something. Like they're a metaphor for
Burnt out druggies.
in the Bible?
Burnt out druggies.
But if they're burnt out druggies, then everybody else is just non-burnt out druggies.
I don't think they're a metaphor for burnt out druggies. I think they are burnt out druggies. What's the metaphor of burnt out druggies that goes to the Bible? I just who are these people?
So-
are they the Jews being led out of in Exodus?
I don't know.
You know what? I don't even want to go that far. They're just some
Is
hippies.
he Moses?
No, he's God.
No, he's
No, he's
not.
not.
He is not God.
Well, it's a...
God does appear in this film,
Right,
but it is
but it's
not
the same
the
guy.
guy from Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah, Joss Ackland was
it
God.
is.
But there's also
He just doesn't have a poopy nose anymore.
Yeah. He plays the homeless leader of the pack and God.
So he's...
Tops at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because I questioned that, and I looked at it when the credits were rolling.
then are they Jesus's apostles?
Yeah, I guess. Well, he's not a very good Jesus, the Poop Nose Pappy guy. He's just
He
an
looks
old
like a
fucker with a
Prospector.
knife.
Yeah, prospector with a knife.
He looks like a crazy
He's got a
asshole.
bone necklace too.
Yeah, no, if you saw that
And
guy
no
in a
shirt.
park and he woke you up, you would be like, just take whatever.
Yeah.
Here's my wallet, my shoes. Fuck,
You're
here's
kind of
my
what I
pants.
expected to wake up next to when
Yeah.
I was sleeping in a park bench. So
But yeah, and the hippies, if the hippies are right, I want to be wrong.
totally. So they're busted by the cops, the van cops. Get on out of here! You can't be loitering or whatever it is you guys are doing. So they go to
Before 7 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, they go to a cave underneath the bridge.
Yes.
Wrong place to put the bridge.
Yeah.
Engineers
Good-
of
good
Bin World.
work.
So BB now is back at headquarters, and she's like, I gotta find him. I feel shitty about getting boned all the time by Dandy. And Pandy's like, you know what? I also don't like having fun and being bad guy. I'm gonna totally switch sides for like
10
no
seconds.
reason or like setup at all. She's just, you gotta get out. You gotta find him. He's your man. He loves you.
And only you.
He wouldn't bone me with. I mean, he did, but
Well,
it was
he
kind
would
of a
have-
soft penis.
He would have boned me if I wouldn't have missed by half the bed length.
But I promise you, he only had about a 3/4 of a hard on.
And I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed it by 3 feet.
So she gets away with Pandy's help, and then Pandy goes back inside and gets slapped by Snake, and then she has a musical number. Like, again, with the musical numbers and how to do a musical, she is a very minor part of this film. Like, very few lines, and
Yeah.
then she gets an entire fucking song? Huh?
Yeah.
Head scratcher.
Well, she got the cum song.
Yeah, but that at least had played into like what the events that are happening
Yeah.
on screen, not just a song about feeling shitty about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really care about how Pandy feels because she hasn't said anything before this fucking point in the film.
Her first song was definitely about the events that were happening on screen. Do Me, the song.
Please do me now.
Boy, they sure know how to tell a story. Do Me.
So BB walks to his Alfie's house and gets told by the landlord that he's living now in a cave under the bridge.
I need to get my stuff.
Wait, you're saying he lives in a bigger shithole than this place? Huh.
Yeah, and at this point, let's be realistic. She's used to the high life. She turned around and went back up to the Snake Mountain and called it good.
And why does he not just tell the lady with the knockers, like, you should come live in the cave too? It's a lot nicer than this shithole.
Hey, maybe you could, as long as I get to keep laying my head on top of your chest pillows, there's a chance that you could bone God, because he's down there, I think.
His nose is awful brown,
loopy.
so I think he likes rim jobs.
I don't know. It's better than staying in this shithole with my bongos. Well, bongos are pretty cool.
They are. Those were expensive bongos.
Yeah, nice bongos. We're talking about physical bongos that you
Drums.
play the drums on, not the landlady's chest.
Which were pretty nice bongos.
It is weird to be talking
I'm here
about
for my bongos.
middle-aged woman's huge boobs.
They're really big. And they were, the filmmakers weren't dancing around them either.
She's got
look
the
at these
face-
knockers. We're going to grab them and everything.
She has got the face of a bulldog, and we're talking about like she's a fucking supermodel. Like,
No, she just has giant boobs. I'm here for my bongos. And I'm here for your bongos.
come to the cave. I love you. Always have.
Always have.
So she finds Alfie, and he's like, "Oh, thank God you're here!" And he pulls her BIM mark off because she's been wearing a BIM mark on her forehead.
She should have a red spot.
Where the skin is just irritated.
Yeah,
She's got a zit coming
from the
in.
adhesive, because the BIM mark is just a fucking plastic sticker,
It
like
is.
the kind you would pay a quarter for at a Pizza Hut and get like a sheet of 10 of these fucking cheap ass things. And then he starts singing, the leader of the hippies starts singing the Child of Love song, Child of Love, Child of Love. And then there's a cut during the song, and all of a sudden, Alfie's got a fucking beard. They're back out in the park. She's covered in hippy dippy shit, and
got
there's
a
a fucking
6-year-old kid.
10-year-old child. Whose kid is that? Is it theirs?
It's got a baby, hammock thing.
Yeah,
The
so
carrier.
it's
Trying to disguise
supposed
that
to be
kid
a
is-
baby.
It's supposed to be a baby, and they couldn't find one. So instead, and he's toughing it out because he has to walk with this
a 100-pound child.
this grade school child attached to his chest, and he's walking around. He's not a big guy either. The kid's almost as big as he is.
Yeah, the
Goo
kid
goo
is-
gaga, right? Shut the fuck up, asshole. I'm in my teens.
Yeah, the kid is like 3 feet tall, at least. It's like, okay.
Baby, want a bottle? No, I don't want a fucking bottle. I will take some milk, though. But,
It's just because it's hot out here.
milk was a bad choice. So time has gone by. Like
1 year.
1 year, because they're told that she's been with them for over a year now when the cops show up.
Yeah.
Which doesn't add up in any way, shape,
So
or
the baby
form.
should be 3 months old,
Yeah.
unless it's not his.
They're
Oh, it could be dandies.
Dandies.
Dandy's semen has accelerated growth rate.
Yeah. So they're surrounded by BIM cops who have BIM shields and BIM swords and BIM guns and BIM badges and BIM cuffs and BIM hats and
Some sweet silver.
Bim boots,
BIM
BIM
boots.
CBs and what are their accessories? They probably got
Bim belts.
BIM,
Hats.
BIM safety or cop cams,
Yeah.
the police have to wear now for
They've got Bim
social justice.
Bim helmets, which are Bilmets. Bimlets.
BIMlets.
They also have
Remotes.
funky triangle sunglasses on.
Oh, yeah.
So they want BB to come back, like, we're here to arrest BB for crimes against our record label not being BIMmy enough. I don't know why. What's the charge
Violation
here,
of
officer?
Contract. Violation of contract. She owes them $10 million.
$10 million.
You're not going to get that.
No, they're going to make her work it off.
Oh, yeah?
Shaking that moneymaker.
Because she's been a hippie for a year now. The people
Yeah.
are still craving
You're gonna-
BB. It is worth your time to go get BB, the fucking dirty hippie who lives in a fucking cave covered in pee-pee.
Look-
Nobody wants BB anymore. She is
No.
faded from the spotlight. Move on.
Those hips look like they just tossed out an 8-year-old child.
Yeah,
Because they did.
she is not a starlet anymore.
Yeah.
Her time has come and gone. The ship has sailed.
Not to mention, what have you been doing for the last year if you're so worried about this?
Yeah, fuck you, Boogaloo. You don't know how to run the show.
No, he doesn't.
So
He's a terrible master.
So all of a sudden, Mr. Tops comes in a space Bentley that's clear because of
Worst
effects.
special effect.
Yeah, it's shitty. And he walks out and he comes to the ground. So does the leader of the hippies just disappear in the scene?
Yeah.
He's just not there anymore?
He is Tops.
I know, but what do you call him? Brown nose Pappy?
Poop nose Pappy.
Is he also in the scene?
He didn't seem like it.
Mm-mm.
Seemed like he just comes back down with his nose cleaned off.
Because Alfie's like, Mr. Tops is going to come to him, to Brown Nose Pappy.
I thought he was saying that to BB.
No,
Yeah,
he
he
said
was saying
it to
it to
Poop Nose
BB.
Baby. To Poop Nose Patty.
Pappy.
Pappy.
No, he was saying it to BB, and she's like, "Who's?"
She was
Tops?
standing there, but he was looking at... I'm telling you, that guy was in the scene when he said that, and then I guess he's just not there anymore. So do they make the connection that they're one and the same? The Jesus has a brown nose and a
He's
knife,
an old man and he's got a knife.
and then
And some
now he's
squirrel
up
bones
there in a
around his neck.
space Bentley? Do they know that they're one and the same? I don't know. So the cops can't arrest that man. We can't, sir. We're fucking stupid.
They're paralyzed.
Yeah. And the hippies, like, just come with me, my children. And they go into fucking space towards the space Bentley, but the space Bentley drives off.
Is this the rapture?
It's the only thing I could, like, I think it's one of the more clearer metaphors that they're getting raptured.
They're getting raptured because Disco was
Dead.
the evil.
And Pandy went with him.
The apocalypse was Disco.
Pandy went with them?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pandy went with him. Dandy stayed behind.
Why is she even there?
Because she's part of the Evil Do-Gooders Club.
Why? Okay, so a year ago she switched sides, and
She just had
doesn't bail,
a moment of clarity, if you could call it clear.
but yet she gets to go to heaven.
Well, anybody who asks for forgiveness, I guess.
Yeah, he said, any and all of you can come with me.
Even if you drug a guy up and have sex with a bedpost, you can still go to heaven.
That's right.
Well, Tops and Boogaloo have a little discussion. He's like, "Where are you taking them? Someplace where you can't go." Well, everywhere needs Boogaloo, right? Like, you can't have a place without Boogaloo. Evil.
Not this time.
Not this time. And they wander off
Let's try something else.
into space. And that's the end of the fucking movie.
Yep, not even a musical number.
Credits.
And I bet there was. It went awry like the first musical number because you notice they did the overhead of the cops standing there.
Mhm.
They looked like they were ready to dance to me.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
in formation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's just how the BIM cops line up all the time.
They were like,
Ready to dance.
We can't make people watch this any longer than they already have.
They showed up because they were expecting to do a musical number because BB was going to join the BIM family again, but they didn't get BB, so they're just like, oh.
That was the shorter cut. I looked at a lot of running time, and so there is 2 musical numbers down. So maybe that was one of the
Maybe.
cutting room floor
with it
from the
being
premiere.
shorter.
What?
I'm good with it being shorter.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I could have done another one.
Who wants to ask questions first?
I'm going to start with: is it dystopia?
Well, the only people we see living quarters that aren't part of the BIM group is Alfie and his huge knockered landlord mom. So they don't live good.
It seems to be dystopia, but
I think
is
it's
it
dystopian.
like is it post-apocalyptic? Was there like a disco apocalypse? And this is
what
the
happened in the 80s?
The Cold War.
Yeah, but did music stop the Cold War? Music won the Cold War. Now that's why it has so much power. Because the Cold War's not going on anymore. I mean,
No,
there's a Cold War, but it's just not between the Reds
It's like,
and the...
yeah, the Big Brother. Because there was supposed to be a lot of allusions to 1984 in the original play that this was written
I can
around.
clearly see that.
And I think some of that made it through. And the intention is that this is like the ruling power now is this media conglomerate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what happened to do that? I mean,
I that's my theory. Cold War was beaten by music. Music
It ended
brought
up-
the world together, and that's how it got all
it
the
was
power.
Donna Summer versus Kraftwerk, and she won.
Yep.
Took
Indeed.
3.5 years.
Indeed. Did Golem.
Goal.
My gracious. Did Golan read any of the Bible ever? Or did he just hear about it third party?
I'm going to say he heard this story in a bar and thought, wow, this is a great story. Or a missionary came to his house and was like, let me share the word of God with you. And then he got bored after about, the point where she ate the apple when they got cast out. And then he's like, well, that sucks. Okay, get out.
We know he's not Christian.
No, he's Jewish, but it seemed like throughout his career, especially with some of the movies he made in Israel, he seems fascinated by the Old Testament. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is Old Testament shit. If he's Jewish, he totally should know this
Should
fucking
know what's
story.
going on, and he should. And I think he did. I just think that this thing went that awry.
Then
on him.
why do they get offered the forbidden fruit in hell? Why take... Hey, you're in fucking hell now. The devil isn't with his minions going, taste the fruit, it's yummy fruit. The snake is like, well, you live here, it's nice, it's really good, but how about a little bit nicer? How about just a little bit nicer? They should have been they already should have been stars.
Like the upstairs of the hotel.
Yes, you are already in fucking paradise, and you bite the apple, what do you lose? What do you lose? What is the cost of biting the forbidden fruit in this film?
I don't know. I don't know what she lost.
Alfie, but she gets him back.
Gets him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have the gravity.
And then she gets to go to fucking heaven. Doesn't make any sense.
I feel like the way that they put it in hell, just to add another set to give it some visual distance from from the airport.
You could have put it in like a really nice garden.
I guess.
Park.
Then you're outside and you don't, the containment issues are, I mean, they had like,
well, you can do a
smoke
soundstage
and-
like Shaw Brothers, like a Shaw Brothers garden type thing.
That's expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a shitty set.
Yeah.
Just like brown paint and dry ice
It was indeed.
with some lights.
Very high school-esque.
Yeah.
Why does the devil have to have a sparkle beard
And one horn.
and one horn?
That's made of gold.
Why
Yeah.
not two horns?
He only has one horn, and then like his beard just gets more sparkly as the movie goes on.
I think you know why the answer to the sparkles, Jackie. More sparkles? You're questioning more sparkles in this
That
film.
look good.
The one horn I don't get, though.
So, what's the penalty or the amount for a BIM-Mark ticket?
30 BIM bucks.
30 BIM-Bucks seems pretty steep.
Well, if you consider the currency exchange from BIM Chinese to
not good.
BIM American dollars.
Oh, bad.
it's not so painful.
So how many BIM tickets do you have to stack up in your glove box before they actually toss you in the slammer?
Before you go to BIM jail,
BIM jail.
BIMson.
The Bimmer.
And then you slam it in the Bimmer. And then you get raped by Bibba up the up the Bim hole.
Oh. Changes your whole outlook on BIM.
You know what? I'm Bim's #1 fan. I don't want to get raped in the Bim hole.
Ay.
Is there any system of government in this fucking place?
No. Other than BIM police.
Yeah.
Who only, like, you can be raping or murdering somebody. Totally fine. Do you have your BIM mark on?
As long as you conform to their style of music and taste, and buy the records and the BIM shirts and the
everything else goes.
Anybody else?
I got one more.
Okay.
If you were at the premiere, would you have thrown the soundtrack through the screen with everybody else?
I probably wouldn't have bought the soundtrack. But
No,
if I
they
had been,
handed it to you.
Yeah.
Because it gives you an environment that everybody else, they'll never find out that it was you. Would you throw it?
No, because this leads us into recommendations. I didn't hate this film. I didn't hate it at all. I think I enjoyed it as a whole more than I enjoyed Can't Stop the Music, even though there's huge sequences in Can't Stop the Music that I loved. There's not enough to make me fucking hate this movie. It stinks, and I can't in good faith recommend it. But as a historical film, I have to, because it's a canon movie. It's directed by Menahem, and it sucks.
It's a disaster of epic proportions.
So I don't think I like it. I'd probably, like, if I had to rate it, I'd probably right in the middle at a 5. But I think it's total. You have to watch this film.
You have to watch it.
So what's your favorite song?
That's a really hard question because I really didn't like any of them. I guess that, like, Where Does Love Go song, because it's probably, like, the most songy of any of the songs. It has structure and form and a beginning and an end and a chorus and verses and things of that nature. It's not abrasive. It just isn't. So, favorite? What song makes me want to not shoot myself in the face very much? That one.
I would say Child in Love because it was the shortest. There was only like 3 lines and they fucked off after like 25, 30 seconds.
What do you think happened to the apple?
Like the prop apple?
Yeah, the prop apple.
It's probably at one of Menahem's grandchildren's house.
You don't think they just chucked it?
Oh, you keep that apple. You know how much of a piece of crap that is when you're making it. You're like, I'm going to keep this and it's going to make me remember.
I want the apple. I'm just asking.
Well, maybe I can. It's probably not going to be very hard to make one. I mean, it's
You'd be surprised you might be able to get it at auction for like $700.
7? That's way too expensive.
That's probably what they're asking.
Yeah. I'll just fake
Behind
it. Tell her
closed doors,
that's what it is.
$132 out the door.
The black market for Canon Films props.
Or $73 in a tugger.
All right. How do you guys feel about this film?
I loved it. I was entertained. I liked the flash of the costumes. And, okay, yeah, there wasn't much of a storyline there, but I was able to fill in the gaps because I knew something about the Bible. And, you know, I don't know. It's just a flash of the costumes and the really crappy music that went with it. And they really tried to sell it as this exciting, action-packed rock and roll. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it.
How does it stack up for you next to your two other musicals, Xanadu and Can't Stop the Music?
I liked this one better.
Than both of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So I'm inferring that you're going to recommend it to people that ask you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I think you're right when you said that, you know, this is a big thing for canon history as well. And, you know, yes, this movie has all kinds of pitfalls and weirdness going on. But, you know, overall, it was very entertaining to watch it. I mean, if you just don't give a shit about storyline and stuff, but
I don't see what you're bashing the storyline. I think there's a clear story to it, whereas Dreamcatcher does not have a story at all. This is essentially the same story as Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Hollywood's going to chew you up and spit you out, young lady.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have that, and that's not the ending of the film. At a certain point, it becomes the savior of humanity, and that's where the story becomes confused, because is it about Hollywood chewing you up and spitting you out? I don't know. Is it about the love between two people? Kind of. Is it about the saving of the human race? I guess.
Hollywood's going to spit you or chew you up and spit you out into heaven. That's the story.
I guess.
Yeah.
But you can at least have 3 options of story, where in Dreamcatcher you're like, he's dust bees.
Yeah, dust bees. Sam,
I think it's an absolute do. As someone who absolutely hates musicals, if you hate musicals as much as I do, watch this thing, because it is the worst one ever. It is a disaster of epic proportions, and I always enjoy films that get a little confused, like with the story like that you can. It moves fast enough that it's not a detraction where you're just watching, you know, visual vanilla pudding that doesn't know what it is. This, you know, even though it gets confused about where it's going, it stays on pace and is absolutely as dumb a movie as I've ever seen in my life.
Dumb is well stated. Dumb.
It is just dumb.
Yeah, I think you're right about like the visual vanilla pudding, because there's large swaths in Can't Stop the Music of visual vanilla pudding where you're like wanting to hit the fast forward button.
Yes.
Like you can just tell it's Gutenberg. Let's get this going. Give me more of the Village People. Oh, the Village People are on screen. Let's watch that. And Xanadu, it just has some of the most bland, uninteresting musical numbers, even for a good or bad movie fan, where there's just not very talented people on screen doing not very impressive things that you can just skip over those things too. Whereas this, there's not a moment that you want to skip over because it's all equally as stupid and bad.
Xanadu gets sidetracked trying to like build the characters by showing their hobbies, and it's like, I don't care.
Don't care. Yeah. So that's 3 do's from us. It is my pick next. I don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm not going to announce it, but we'll figure it out this week. Come to us on Friday. We've got some big things coming up. We got the Smabfest coming up next month, I believe. The Stinker Madness Achievements in Bad Filmmaking Awards, with maybe a new candidate that we didn't know about. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I'm so disappointed to hear that fucking thing didn't clear 20% on Metacritic or whatever.
It may not even make $100,000 this weekend. Oh boy, but sorry, Jason Lee. You might be showing up on Stinker Madness again, but
you live here, bud.
Yeah. All right, get to the magical flying space Bentley.
Oh, come on, say it. Sing it. We're at a musical number.
Get to the chopper. Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Space Bentley.
Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.